State of Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles hearings edited for your enjoyment. Enjoy.
My name is Parole Officer Carla Dunkley, and I'm the hearing coordinator for today's session. Additional board staff are also present to assist with the hearing. Presiding over the hearing will be Chairperson Carlton Giles, who will now say a few words. You have to unmute, sir.
Thank you, Officer Dunkley. Good morning to all of you. My name is Carlton Giles, and I'm Chairperson of the Board of Pardons and Paroles. I'll be presiding over this morning's proceeding. With me on the panel today are my fellow distinguished board members, Ms. Joy Chance and Ms. Jennifer Zaccagnini. We want to take this opportunity to thank you for your patience as we navigate this Zoom platform and provide you with the best experience that we can. In considering whether to grant a pardon, the board looks at, among other things, the nature and seriousness of the crimes, its impact on any victims, the length of time that has elapsed since the commission of the crimes, and any and all efforts that the applicant has made to become productive contributing members of his or her respective community. As applicants to be heard this morning, your cases were already reviewed extensively by the board at a pre-screen session held prior to this morning's proceedings.
Chairman Giles, we have applicant number 1, Christopher Gagnon, who is represented by attorney Ralph Sherman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please state your name for the record.
Christopher Gagnon.
At this time, you may explain to the board why you believe you are suitable for an absolute pardon.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Ralph Sherman for Mr. Gagnon. Mr. Gagnon is about to turn 40 years old. I'm going to just ask him one question, as I have done in the past. Mr. Gagnon, why haven't you been in any more trouble since 2009?
Short answer, I grew up. I stopped hanging out with the same crowd, stopped drinking like I was excessively, got engaged. So I'm just trying to work and take care of my family.
Thanks, Mr. Gagnon. Ms. Zaccagnini, you have any questions for Mr. Gagnon by any chance?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Chance, do you have any questions? Ms. Chance, you're muted. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, I don't.
Thank you, ma'am. I move that Mr. Christopher M. Gagnon be granted a full and absolute pardon. Ms. Chance?
Aye.
Ms. Zaccagnini?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, so ordered. Thank you.
Thank you. Make it a great day.
Applicant number 2, Ronnie Barnes, represented by the Greater Hartford Legal Aid.
Good morning. Attorney Jamie Bell representing Mr. Barnes. There are no changes in my client's conviction history and no new arrests since the application was filed. Mr. Barnes was here with me as a 34-year-old man whose last conviction was in 2012. His criminal activity took place between the ages of 16 and 24. When science tells us brains are still growing and maturing, in the last 10 years he has gotten his GED, had a son, became a strongly practicing Muslim, and works as a forklift driver while also working on obtaining his commercial driver's license. Mr. Barnes will now address you himself and answer any questions that you have.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Barnes. Stand by a minute. Let me just find out what the panel needs. Mr. Barnes, you have a very good job as a forklift driver, and I'm wondering why you left that probation balance, the restitution balance, if you have such a good job. Can you talk to me about that for a minute?
Well, to my recollection, it wasn't brought to my attention. Any unpaid balances, I have no problem paying.
All right. Ms. Chance, you have anything further, ma'am?
I just wanted to ask just one question. What programs have you completed in the community?
As of right now, I'm an assistant coach for the Hartford Wildcat football team where my son plays. He's 13 as of next month. And I've been around kids for the past 5 years. So I just want to make sure that I could come correct when I approach these parents about being around their children. Let them know I'm not a child anymore myself.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good luck. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ms. Chance. Ms. Zaccagnini, anything further, ma'am?
Sir, did I read that you're still using marijuana daily?
As of right now, no, ma'am.
When's the last time you used?
I can't use it because I drive trucks and I operate heavy machinery. But by the time the application went in, I probably was because I wasn't submitted in school. But now I can't because I operate heavy machinery. So no.
When's the last time you used?
I was over 5-6 months ago on my birthday.
Okay. I mean, is there a reason that you continue to use?
When I was using, it was for recreational use, but now I can't because I have an obligation to the state. So
Well, and you want to coach too, and you want to set a good example for children, right?
yes, they made it legal so people can recreationally use, but I don't because I have a greater responsibility now. So
Yeah. Well, and also some of your issues, were surrounding drug use. So we want to make sure that you're not going to return to that type of behavior. Thank you.
because my son's watching this. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Akinen, anything that,
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Ms. Chance, how about you?
No, I'm all set.
Regarding Ronnie Lee Barnes Jr., the chair moves that he be granted full and absolute pardon. Ms. Chance?
Aye.
Ms. Akinini?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, so ordered. Thank you. Good success to you.
All right, next we've got a couple good ones, hopefully. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes, can you hear me? We can. Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
I'm just gonna put it back to normal because I think he talks kind of fast anyway. Sorry.
Joseph DeRosa.
You may now explain to the board why you believe you are suitable for an absolute pardon.
I was going through a divorce 15 years ago and actually going through getting primary custody of my two children. The time was very difficult for me. I didn't behave properly, made some bad decisions. I was actually awarded primary custody of my two children that are now 30 and 29 years old. My daughter's a case manager out in Denver, and my son's in the United States Air Force.
Mr. DeRosa, how do you handle family gatherings with the mother? Then that's what we always want to know, because when you have these kind of breaches, you still have to be some sort of look like a family, at graduations and baby dedication and all that.
Yeah, I'm friendly with my ex-wife. We don't communicate that often because the children are grown now and living in different states.
Yeah.
All right.
May I be heard?
Hang on 1 minute, Counselor. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Counselor.
Oh, I was going to add, just in response to that question, that when their son graduated from basic training, they flew on the same flight, stayed in the same hotel, and went together to be there at the graduation.
All right.
So they have a...
That's a lot of information, Counselor. Hang on 1 minute. Miss De Jesus?
Yes, good morning, board members. I do have one of the victims on the line. This is your opportunity to express to the board your wishes and your concerns. I am to remind you that you're to address the panel members, and you may begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Francis Pinto. I was the individual that was assaulted by Mr. DeRosa. I went to every case hearing that he had when the prosecutor asked me what would I like to do. He actually asked me if I wanted to put him behind bars for 6 months. And now I know that he wants to have this absolved and erased from his record. I'm highly regretting that choice, truth be told. He was the one that chased us down in a vehicle, assaulted me in a complete stranger's driveway, beat the snot out of me. I am so upset. I am speechless. You cannot understand how I would have driven down there in person today. I just got the letter yesterday. Do I make myself clear?
We heard you. We heard you, sir. Yes. Miss A?
Did you wish to...
I can't believe that he's actually getting this erased from his record. He's not a nice person. I don't believe it for a second. I'm actually shaking.
Is there anything else you wish to share, Mr. Dutko?
I'm curious to see what their decision could be, and if you could please call me with their decision, I would greatly appreciate it. Is that asking too much?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
All set, board members.
Thank you, Mr. Jesus. Ms. Akinini.
Sir, did you complete a domestic violence or anger management program?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Why did you assault that individual? Why did you assault him?
Eating on me with him.
Yeah.
And they were doing drugs together and taking money out of my investment account without my knowledge.
Okay.
It was a 15-year marriage. I had 2 children.
Yep.
They worked together. She was
Okay.
cheating me. I
Got
found
it.
out.
Okay.
they denied
Understood.
it.
Yeah. Understood. Okay. I mean, you're 54 years old. These, Mr. Chair, these appear to be
That might be
isolated.
needed.
These appear to be isolated incidents, and he admits that he acted poorly during a divorce proceeding.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Chance, anything further?
No, I have no questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. Regarding Joseph Anthony Rosa, the chair moves that he be granted a full and absolute pardon. Ms. Chance?
Aye.
Ms. Zaccanini?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so ordered. Thank you. With success.
I'll call you, Joseph. Thank you.
Applicant number 28, Michael Balcombe. You have to unmute Mr. Balcombe.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, good morning.
Good. Please state your name for the record.
Michael Leo Balcom Jr.
And you may now explain to the board why you believe you are suitable for an absolute pardon.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my past. I've grown past my mistakes to the point where I don't dwell on them anymore. I've created a business, very successful business. I'm a father of 2. I'm a role model for my 19-year-old son, my 14-year-old daughter. I have a lot of people that are riding with me on this. I'm riding for myself, actually. I think the person that I submitted on paper to you guys is not the person that I really am. And I take full accountability for anything. So if there's any questions from the board, I'm all here for it.
Thanks. So, Mr. Balcom, I'm just wondering, on the application, you sort of wanted to talk to us, tell us things rather than just write the narrative. Tell me the mindset behind that.
The mindset behind it is that I could write anything. I think this face-to-face, like I said, the person on paper is not the person that you're speaking to today. The person that you're speaking to right now is Michael. This is not the narcissistic or condescending individual that I used to be. I put a lot of work into making my community better, making myself better, setting great examples for my children, as I stated before. It's a lot. I'm just happy to have the opportunity to speak to you.
You're aware, Ms. Agnini will cover this with you. You're aware about this, let's see, this protective order you seem to not be so clear on. Ms. Agnini will cover it. Ms. Agnini?
Thank you. So these domestics are concerning, sir. There is an active protective order for one of the victims, first initial M. We're not going to mention any names. Have you had any contact since the incident?
I have not had contact with anybody I have any type of order with. Not at all.
Were you unaware that you had this protective order?
I think because it was so long ago, and like I said, I have.
It wasn't that long ago. Protective orders can last a lifetime. You understand that?
Well, no, I understand that. I mean, as far as the fact, like, I don't worry about going to see this person. I don't know anything about this person. We have no contact. We have no nothing.
Okay. What about the other victim? Do you have children with either of the victims?
I have a child with my daughter's mother.
Is that the victim I was just speaking of?
No, it's not.
No. Okay. So what's the relationship like? How do you co-parent?
With my daughter's mother? We go through her father. We go through my daughter's grandfather, meaning my daughter's mother's father. He and I have a great relationship. My daughter's 14, so she has a cell phone. So when anything she needs, she calls me.
Well, I understand, but I have kids. You still have to co-parent. If something happens, I would think you would want a phone call, right? If something happens to your daughter.
Definitely. Well, my daughter lives with her mother and grandfather. The grandfather and I are very tight. The mother.
So why is it that you weren't able to work it out with that victim?
Because I think we just kind of grew out of each other. We were young.
I don't mean the relationship. I mean co-parenting.
Oh, the co-parent, that's on her mother. That's not on my behalf. I tried to.
Did you apologize for the way you treated her?
Oh, yeah, many a times.
Okay.
Many a times.
Do you understand the trauma that these victims may have experienced and continue to experience as a result of your crimes?
Most definitely. I take full accountability for it.
Yes, I'm not talking about accountability. I'm talking about understanding what they might go through.
I understand.
Okay. You took a domestic violence program?
Yes, I did.
What did you learn in the program?
I've learned a lot, actually. I took this a while ago. I think it was a 6-month course. It's called I forgot the name of the program. It was out of Invadement. I forgot the name of it. I learned a lot of things. I learned about not being, I learned not to be as condescending, number one. Number two, I learned not to be impulsive and impulsive thinking. Displace myself in certain situations before they escalate into something different. And just try to keep myself out of those situations, which I've been doing for the past 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Are you in a relationship now?
No, I'm happily single.
When's the last time you were in a relationship?
Like 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years on Thanksgiving, actually.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't really put your skills from the program to the test. Do you plan to stay single the rest of your life?
I mean, unless somebody comes around my way. I'm more married to my business and what I do for a living.
Mm-hmm. Do you think your victims might be afraid of you?
No, they're definitely not afraid of me. I know that for a fact.
Why do you think that?
I know, like I picked up my daughter last weekend and her mom was like, here's her new phone number. And there's I don't know. I don't know how to explain. I don't really.
But there's still a protective order.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I keep my distance. I don't.
But what do you mean you guess? Do you don't have a copy of the protective order? That's something you should know.
That was so long ago.
You could be violated for that, though. You know, if you're over there and.
I don't know. I don't go over there. It's not one of those situations. I don't go over there.
You just said you went to pick her up and she gave you the phone number.
My daughter's grandfather lives with them.
Right.
So I picked her up from him, and she can walk out the door by herself. She's 14 years old.
Right.
And her mother texted me. I have the text. It says, "Here's Maya's new phone number." That's it. I don't call her. I don't talk to her. It's nothing like that.
Yeah. It's a little concerning to me that you don't know about an active protective order because, you know, you could be violating without even knowing it, you know, even texting. I don't know the details of protective order, but it's important that you're aware of these things.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Ms. Zaganini. Ms. Chance?
So, Mr. Balcom, did you know that you had 2 restitution to pay and you only paid 1?
I'm not aware of that. I'm not. It's something I look into, though.
So you're not aware that you had a second restitution. You're not aware of your protective order. Why aren't you? I'm sure you were served papers.
And I was incarcerated. I wasn't served by papers. I was told this and I was incarcerated. I never had a piece of paper saying you can't do this or that. I was just said whatever in court and I went to jail.
And you know, you came out, you were on probation 3 times and you failed all 3 of them.
Yes.
So why weren't you able to complete even one of the probation?
I completed my final. I was going through a process in my life of moving. I was living in New Haven. I wasn't grounded the way I am today. I have my own place, my own business. I'm certified with the state of Connecticut. It was a rough path. It was a very rough path, but I've overcome it.
Yeah, I just think it's a little bit odd that you know, the 2 orders issued by the court, you're not familiar with any of it.
Not saying I'm not familiar. It's not something that I'm just retaining. Like I remember this one or that one. I do know that I have protective orders. I don't think about this. I'm not.
But you were asked by the person who did the interview, the parole officer, and you said you were currently not the subject of an active or standing criminal protective order. But when they reviewed your history, you do have one.
Now,
and my colleague mentioned the name.
No, you're
so it's either you acknowledge that you have one.
Okay, so what
happened? But from what you're saying you don't know anything about it.
No, what I'm saying, okay, let me read you through this because maybe I'm a little nervous right now. I've been preparing for this whole meeting with you guys. When your colleague called me, I was at work. I was on a job site. I was talking to a watch. And I couldn't hear, and I kept saying, hold on a second, hold on. And he was going through the thing. And then I said to him,
let me stop you there, Mr. Malcolm, because if you receive a call for a very important interview where you applied for a pardon, then you should have said to the officer, may I call you back when it's more convenient? I think it would have been more appropriate. So to me, you're now just, giving a lot of excuses that just doesn't sit well.
No, Miss, I'm not making any excuses. Everything about me is honest. I'm telling you. Everything is honest about me. I've been working so hard to get this going through. And if I let some things go of my past that I don't retain or I don't think about, and that's just me, I apologize. I don't remember every little detail of what a judge said or a paper. I just know what I do as a man. I work hard. I'm a giving person in my community. And I just try to stay going forward. That's all. I don't.
But it's important for you to remember.
Well, it's remembered now.
You abide by. If you want to be a good citizen, then you have to abide by. If the court gives you orders, you have to follow through on it. If you're put on probation, you have to follow through and do what it is that they're asking you to do. It's as simple as that.
And I've done that. I've completed all. I haven't had any changes in my record from the point of my application being put in.
Okay, Mr. Malcolm. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I'm all set.
Thank you so much. Mike, I think you have some more work to do, but I'm not at the place where I would prevent you from doing that today because I don't know that the record itself, is going to do anything having this record. But I do think you got to do better about getting on top of your game. I think, what you've done here today with Ms. Chance and Ms. Zagadini, just trying to be a smooth talker and all that. Stop, don't talk. Try to be a smooth talker, and I think that's not the route you should be trying to take. I think you have to get on top of your game. You have to monitor what you're doing, know what you're doing. As Ms. Chance suggested, you have these obligations. You got to, be who you are and get on top of it. And what you're doing now is really not it. As I said, I don't think it's enough for me to stand in the way of you moving forward, but I'm really not, impressed with, how you're doing this today. You should be a little better at this because, this is a process and you sort of knew you were going to be here today. And, I want you to be a little sharper and on top of what you're supposed to do. Ms. Zaccanini?
I mean, I agree. I think he still does have work to do. Even his explanations, bad decision making. I can't recall the details. Well, I'm pretty sure the victims do recall the details. That's not good enough for me. I just don't think he's ready. I think we give him the opportunity to do a little more work, get his court records in order, and see what he has for restitution and a protective order, and come back and talk to us again. That's where I stand today.
Ms. Chance?
That's exactly where I am, Mr. Chair.
Regarding Michael, did you get the advice that the panel gave you? You want to maybe finish that restitution piece that you owe, see about that. I think there's a way legally to get those protective orders lifted if you want to do that. Contrary on that, but I think they gave you some good pointers and then sort of circle back. Regarding Michael Balcombe Jr., the chair moves that he be denied pardon this time for poor performance on community supervision. Number 7, number 10 didn't provide sufficient details of the offense. I think that's plenty. Ms. Zaccanini?
Aye.
Ms. Chance?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so the pardon is denied.